We are live. I've got the lovely Andrea. She's chosen a banging tune today. I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, it's home to me. I walk alone. I walk alone and I walk alone. I walk alone and I walk in. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. And that's all we're getting today. Andrea, how lovely to see you.
Hello. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So, the very first question I ask all of my guests, why did you pick that song?
It reminds me of a simpler time in my life because I remember listening to it during high school, and really life was different than now. And when I was trying to pick a song, there were loads that I liked, but I thought, you know what, this one, I feel this one. And also the verse in the chorus, so whatever you chose to sing today is very, very much for an introvert, I feel, walking alone sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all I want to do.
Absolutely. Oh, what a great reason for choosing a song. So people watching, listening, don't know, but I've sent you a list. There's about 170 songs on there. Okay, because these are songs that I've learned and played in the past. Some I play in my band, some I play as a solo artist. But I'm really pleased that there was a lot of songs for you to choose from, because I'd hate for it to be, that's the only one I've chosen because it's the only one I like. So and it's a great story, and leading straight into introverts as well. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Andrea, before we go into LinkedIn. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how did you get here?
Oh, how did I get here? That's a long story. Let's not get into that. But hi, I'm Andrea. I am a published author and a certified high performance coach. I work mainly with women that are either have their own businesses or work or study in a high pressure environment. And we worked on improving their performance while still maintaining their well-being and their relationships. This is what high performance means.
Perfect.
I got here. I started as a software engineer and then slowly moved into having my own business, jumped from software into the fitness industry, and then from fitness I had my own yoga studio, and then slowly moved more towards personal development and business.
Wow, what an amazing story. That's another show all in itself, isn't it? Because when you go into software engineering, the only path from that is performance coaching, isn't it? Obviously. I won't even go there. That's absolutely incredible. So we got a couple of people on the show. So we'll say hi to Johan. Hi, good to see you, and hi to Heather as well. Thanks ever so much for joining us. If you guys have got any questions for this amazing high performance coach, then please do give us a shout out. So Andrea, first thing I'd love to talk to my guest is LinkedIn, and how does it work for you? So why is it you like LinkedIn?
I use a few social media platforms, but I find LinkedIn is so different, and it's like a different energy. I love them all the ones that I use. I love them all for different sort of reasons, and I use them differently. On LinkedIn, I love to connect with people after we go to an event together or on a workshop or something, where I actually get to meet people face to virtual face. And then I use LinkedIn as a way to keep in touch. We connect. I'm in my DMs a lot, so not so much posting or commenting, but I am in the messages section a lot with with my connections.
Yeah, it's a great way for communicating, isn't it? And you also keep an eye on what's going on in the world within the areas that you're interested in. So yeah, it builds up to be a lovely community. So you said there that you don't post an awful lot. How often do you post, Andreea?
I have seasons. uh,
Seasons. I love that.
yes, and I'm comfortable with that. I have seasons when I do have a lot to say, and I do that. I post um, maybe once or twice a week for a month or two, and then just chill a bit, be more in the comment section or in the DMs, but not post as much myself. But if I do have something to say, I will say it for sure.
Fantastic. No, I love that. And that's a you because you're comfortable with it. You can go in, have a play, come back out again. And some people just aren't comfortable and do nothing, and then other people are just posting every single day because that's what they've been told they need to do. And so yeah, you're finding your own space. I've got a couple of other people saying hello, but sadly your details aren't coming through. But hello, and thanks for saying hi. What I want to know then is, have you got any business from what you do on LinkedIn? Because I'm guessing that you've got enough clients because you're not hammering LinkedIn. Is that fair to say?
That's a good assumption. Yes, I have gotten business from LinkedIn. It worked for me really well, especially for workshops,
Okay.
for selling my book, and for short-term one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
So, well, of course, I'm still building some relationships. We never know where I'm gonna take those, but so far, things like either one session or maybe 3 months, that has worked from LinkedIn. Yeah.
No, fantastic. And so I'm going to investigate your book a little bit now as well. Do you have a copy there that you can show everybody?
No, I have a full shelf of them.
So how many have you written?
Only one of them, so that's
All right. Okay.
only the one. I can show the cover. It's right here.
The Introvert Who Curd, and but there's a few people I've noticed posting more about introverts. I'm going to give Amanda C. Watts a shout out, because she specifically helps accountants that are introverted to create content and market themselves. And so why did you A, write a book, and B, specifically about that topic?
For me, at the beginning, especially in business, being an introvert was a problem. I made it a problem because in my corporate years, I was told so many times that I have to change that at some point I just went against everything. I said, no, I don't want to change and I don't want to talk to anyone. And when you have a business, that's really not a good idea because no one will know who you are or what you do. So I had to change my thinking, not my personality, but my thinking, and find ways to market myself that work for me. Um, Understand how I work with people better in a way that's also comfortable for me. Learn how much I can take and not get to burnout when it comes to energy from other people, but also how to set boundaries, create an environment that works for your personality. So I'm not telling anyone to change. You can be an introvert and be really successful, but you do want to communicate your needs, know what your needs are, know how to communicate them. And then for those things that you really cannot avoid, like me here, for example, not all introverts would be comfortable with it.
Sure.
But I do want to make the point that this may be uncomfortable just because you haven't done it before. Or just because you're human and you're not used to the camera. Don't blame your personality for it. You can get better at it if you want to.
That is fantastic advice. So, okay. So what are the characteristics of an introvert? And what are the key things that we would notice by working with someone that they are introverted? Because if anyone tuned in right now this minute, they are not thinking that you are an introvert, are they? So come on,
No.
what's the key things?
Maybe this would be um, not a great example, but if we were in a group of people, you
Yep.
would notice me that I'm a bit quieter than others. Of course, this is a one-on-one conversation. I have to say something.
You've got no option. You have to answer back here. But yes, if there was 5-6 people of us chatting in a social interaction, there's always the loudmouth, and there's always someone else that's got an opinion. You'd be the one just taking a little step back, just watching everybody. Is that right?
Yes, I would be watching everybody. I would be listening very careful. However, if I have something to say, I will say it.
Okay.
But I'm not the kind that enjoys chit chat or, just talking for the sake of talking. I will say something if I think it's important for the conversation.
Okay. So something like good afternoon from Pavel or something like that. Is that all you would say? or would you go a bit deeper?
For an introduction, I would just probably say hello. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about something and I have something to say, I hope, find something intelligent to say about it. I don't like to repeat whatever someone else has said already. I mean, I see no point in that.
Okay.
Just to hear me talking, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. I like that. I like it. So here we are. We're in this room. We're having this good old chat, and someone says something about introverts. Because you know all about it, you've written a book. You'd probably be the person that would actually stand up and go and tell us loads of stuff about it. Is that right? Or wouldn't you be comfortable doing that?
I would be. I'm not sure if this is a skill that I learned in time or I was always comfortable with that. Sometimes it is hard for us to just raise our hands and say something, especially if the others won't stop talking. We find it hard to interrupt.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I have something to say.
Okay. So here I am now. We're sat in this group, and because of what you've just said, I'm sort of like thinking, Andreea might be an introvert. How do I get Andreea into the conversation? How do I help make it easier for her? Because you've got something to add. Why not bring you in the conversation? What would be the key things we should be doing?
There is a fine line here that you don't want to cross. You want to know that Andreea wants to say something.
Okay.
Otherwise, just being put on the spot is not very comfortable for us.
Okay.
But if you know, I'm sure she'll have something to say. I'm sure she wants to say something. Let me help her get into the conversation by asking, hey, do you have anything to say about this? Because I know you're an introvert and I know you have the expertise. Can you help us? Is this guy right or not?
Yeah. So I if we're I'm being metaphorical now. So we're sat in this room and I'm sort of like I'm talking, I'm asking somebody else a question. Basically, I'm holding a great big spotlight at them, and so they're like, and then I'll turn around to Andreea, and all Andreea wants to do is just run and hide. Is that right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But if I am there, if I really didn't want to say anything, maybe I wouldn't be there at all.
Sure. And so when did you write your book, Andreea?
It was written a good part of last year, and it was published in October.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so pretty close to the same sort of time as me publishing my book. So did you have a launch party?
I wouldn't call it I called it a party,
Yeah.
but it didn't have any music or anything.
Okay. You don't have to have music to be a party, do you?
You know what? I did start with a song. I started with Brave.
Okay.
And I thought, that's so fitting for this topic, because the song says, be brave to say what you need to say. And I think that's what I am all about. And it was a very intimate party. The whole thing screamed introverts.
Brilliant.
Small group that was very comfortable for me, with people that I know and I'm happy to speak with all the time. It was great.
Fantastic. And are you going to write another one?
Possibly. I'm still exploring ideas right now. I don't have something in my mind that, yeah, I'm going to write about this. But of course, I would like to write another one.
Yeah, no, it's a great experience, isn't it? Absolutely great experience. So tell us a little bit about your clients. What you say you work specifically with women. Is what where are they and where do you take them?
Um, I just to give a specific example, just focus on business because many of your listeners will be business owners. I tend to work with women who are in the beginning of their business and they need more support to develop themselves rather than the business. Yes, they do need ideas and that support and accountability to get started and get the things done, but they also have they need mindset support and they also need to make time for whatever they need to do in business. They need more energy. They're constantly saying they want to be more productive. When it comes to energy, if that's a problem, we look at their lifestyle habits and try to adjust those for better energy. And there's also in high performance, there's a big focus on influence and persuasion. And people who are in the beginning of their businesses don't really know how to do that. And going into that topic will help them so much with selling, but also with life in general, because you're always selling to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the hardest thing for setting up in business is sort of like you've got to. There's two things. One is you've got to be able to do all your books and all your accounting, and the other thing is you've got to start selling. And nobody sets up their business to do that. So you actually help these women to get started and get focused on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, and coming from um, a place of being an introvert, um, you're able to empathize more with these women than perhaps a different coach or mentor would be. Is that right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, and how does that manifest itself, Andreea?
The results of it.
Hmm.
Well, I like the fact that not only they do get started and you see them out into the world with an offer and they're happy about it, but also the ripple effect of our work in their lives. The fact that they get more time for themselves because they know how to ask for it and get it because now they understand how influence works. So they know how to talk to their husbands, they know how to talk to their children to get whatever they want to get out of the relationship, and them developing as humans with confidence and courage, and they look differently and they show up differently in the world, and I love that.
No, that's fantastic. It's a real privilege, isn't it, to be in a coaching position because you're working with people and they come in and they share everything, don't they absolutely share everything, and you can see sometimes it's huge wins, sometimes it's just little wins, but it's just seeing them on their journey and knowing that you're part of that. It's a huge privilege. So how did you get into coaching then, because obviously it's not the normal thing you do when you're a software engineer?
I've always been interested in personal development for myself, and particularly in productivity. I always just wanted to get more things done.
Yep, yep.
And when I heard about high performance, that was my first thought. Oh, I'm going to be more productive. So I learned about high performance and then I realized, oh, it's about a lot more than just being more productive. So it allowed me to grow in all sorts of areas. Another thing that coaching helped me with first before I considered even going into coaching was actually weight loss. I had struggled for most of my life, but until someone told me, you know what, it's not just about what you're eating and how much exercise you do, but why you're overeating and the fact that you don't know how to manage your emotions and your mind. And that's how I discovered coaching, and it's changed me so much. Like, if I can do this with coaching, I can do everything, because I find weight loss to be one of the hardest things for any human to go through.
Okay. And because you had some decent coaching, then that helps you. And yeah, that's amazing. So do you actually talk about this in your coaching programs?
Not really, no. At some point, I just decided I want to be past my weight loss days.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to.
yeah.
But when it comes to energy, sometimes we have to look at people's habits, and we get into eating as well. And if we get into that topic and there is an overeating problem, we have a look at why it's happening and try to solve the core issues before we try to change what someone eats.
Yeah, sure, sure. Oh, this is fascinating. We've gone way past our 15 minutes. So how many hours do you reckon you work a week? Because obviously you're super productive. You don't need to work so many hours. Is that right?
I have 3 days a week when I work, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, because that's when I have childcare. And Wednesday and Thursdays are usually just Patrick Day. I don't do anything else apart from maybe I have a call in the evening, but I try really to keep those separate. And on the rest of the days, I would say I work maybe 5 or 6 hours every day. But when I say work, I also consider, talking to you right now,
Yeah.
or learning something from for myself, or going out to meet someone for a coffee. I consider that networking. That's also part of my work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't seem like work though, does it?
I know. Yeah, exactly. So I'd say a maximum of 20 in total, 20 hours per week.
Oh, that's really that makes it nice and easy for you, doesn't it? That's great. So before we go, I just want to, is there, you talk about productivity, and I think this is something that everybody wants to know. Is there, do you have a productivity hack that you could share with us right now, this minute, as to what's the first thing we should be doing if we want to be more productive?
The principle that I recommend to everyone is the Pareto principle, that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. You're probably doing a lot of things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Look at your list and declutter. If there's something that doesn't add value or too much value, if there's something that people wouldn't even notice that you're not doing it anymore, just cut them off.
Yeah.
Just focus on what's important. And yes, maybe the quality will drop a little bit, but not as much as you would imagine. You just focus on those 20% and you have so much time back.
That is priceless. That I don't need to ask anything else, do I? I love that, and we all know the Pareto principle. So when you're not working, when you're not on LinkedIn, what is it you get up to?
I spend a lot of time walking my dogs.
Oh, dogs. How many have you got?
Two
Okay.
beagles.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Super duper. Right. I've got one more question for you. But before I do that, I'm going to go to my guest next week just to give a little shout out. And so next week, I have got somewhere here the lovely Ange McMillan. She's coming in to talk about anxiety in teenagers. So looking forward to meeting Ange and having a good old chat with her. So my final question for you is, what tip would you give your 16-year-old self if you could go back in time?
I would tell myself to relax a bit more because I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that study all the time, and I was definitely overdoing it. I would have probably been as well as I am today with a bit less and more relaxation. I was just so focused on school that I didn't do much else.
Yeah. That's a great maxim. So thank you very much, Andreea. You've been a lovely guest. Thank you to everybody that's been watching and commenting. So thanks very much indeed, Andreea. Thank you. Cheerio. You get out what you put in.